Welcome back, children. So, we have studied up to food reaching the stomach. Now, in the stomach, what happens to food? There is a juice which is called as the gastric juice, which is secreted by the cells in the inner lining of the stomach. Now, this gastric juice, see I have written here in stomach, here food is mixed with gastric juice. Now, this gastric juice has three components. What are the three components of gastric juice? First is mucus, second is hydrochloric acid, and third is pepsin, an enzyme. Now, what is the function? Now, naturally, these three different juices or these three different secretions are being produced by three different types of cells. Mucus cells are there, which secretes actually mucin. The name of the cell is mucus cell. It secretes mucin. Then oxyntic cells are there, which secretes hydrochloric acid, and zymogen cells are there, which secretes pepsin. So three different types of cells secretes three different products, and the mixture of mucin, HCl, pepsin together is called as gastric juice. Now let us come to the function of each part. First is mucin. What is the function of mucin? Now, mucin forms a layer over the inner lining of the stomach wall, so that the hydrochloric acid does not come in direct contact with the inner wall of the stomach. What will happen? Now, you know very well what will happen if acid comes in contact with your skin. Same thing will happen there. So, mucus layer is a protective layer which protects the inner lining of the stomach from coming in direct contact with the hydrochloric acid. Sometimes it happens when you do not take in food for a long time, HCl goes on getting secreted, and then maybe there may be a chance that HCl comes in direct contact with certain portion of the stomach wall, and then there will be a deep depression over there, a wound, which is normally called as peptic ulcer. You must have heard many people in your neighbor, they have suffered from peptic ulcer. Clear? So this corrosive action of HCl is dangerous. So in order to protect the inner lining of the stomach from being corroded by HCl, this mucin is being secreted. Now, what is the function of this HCl? Hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid has two functions. First function is this enzyme pepsin cannot act on protein food without an acidic medium. So, the HCl makes the medium inside the stomach acidic for the action of pepsin on proteins. Clear? So this is the first function of HCl. Second function of HCl is any microorganism which may have entered your stomach through food or water, that will automatically get killed in that acidic medium. Clear? So two functions of hydrochloric acid inside the stomach. First function is it creates an acidic medium inside the stomach for the action of pepsin on protein food, and second, to kill any microorganism which might have entered through food and water inside the stomach. Clear? And this pepsin, it acts on proteins, protein food, to break it down into proteoses and peptones, that is simpler form of protein. Clear? So after this, now one more thing. The stomach is constantly in motion this way. That is called as the churning movement of the stomach. Even when you are asleep after taking dinner, the stomach is moving this way. This is called churning movement. Churning movement of stomach. Now, this is automatic movement. This churning movement helps in mixing the food thoroughly with this gastric juice so that digestion becomes quick, digestion becomes faster. Clear, children? So, after the food is semi-digested inside the stomach, next the food is passed on to the small intestine, or rather the first part of the small intestine. Now one more thing, here as the esophagus enters the stomach, here is a sphincter. Sphincter means a valve which guards the opening of this esophagus into the stomach. This is called as cardiac sphincter. Similarly, here at the back, means at the end of the stomach, where food is entering into the small intestine, here again one more sphincter guards this lower side of the stomach by another sphincter which is called as pyloric sphincter. So many parts are there. Clear? So this pyloric sphincter guards the opening of the stomach into the small intestine. So little by little, as food gets digested, little by little, don't think the whole food passes into the small intestine at a time. No. Slowly, gradually, little by little, food passes from the stomach by the opening of the pyloric sphincter into the small intestine. Clear? Now, in the small intestine, two parts I'll tell you. Actually, there are three parts, but one more part is there which is not much required at this level in class 10th. So the main two parts are duodenum and ileum. Right? The small intestine has two main parts, duodenum and ileum. Now, in the duodenum, food is mixed with three things. Food is mixed with intestinal juice, food is mixed with pancreatic juice, food is also mixed with bile. Now, here you can see I have given the diagram of bile. The diagram of liver. Liver is the largest gland in the human body, right? The secretion of the liver is called as bile, and bile is stored in the gallbladder, right? The liver produces bile which is stored in the gallbladder, and from the gallbladder it is poured into the small intestine, which is the duodenum part, by a duct called as the bile duct. You can see here, this is the bile duct. So, liver produces bile which is stored in the gallbladder. From the gallbladder, bile is poured into the duodenum part of the small intestine through bile duct. Now, what is the function of this bile? Definitely, this has some function. It has two functions. First function is it breaks down the larger fat molecules into smaller parts. So this is called as emulsification of fat. Firstly. So emulsification of fat, that is the primary function of bile. Second function. The second function is, now see, the food that comes from stomach is highly acidic in nature. So for the enzymes which are present in the duodenum it requires alkaline medium. So bile makes this acidic food of stomach alkaline in nature. Understood? So bile has two main parts, two main functions. First function is primarily emulsification of fat, that is breaking down larger fat globules into smaller globules. And second is it makes the acidic food alkaline. Clear? So children, you do up to this much. What happens to the food in the duodenum? This we'll do in our next class. Thank you.